Yeah, no, we ran really only a year and a half.
Oh, okay.
So it was very much so we were doing some work for them, and we were. There was that right there.
Jamie Howison, he's the executive designer.
Why is it every time I see you, there's an event going on, there's a party going on? In fact, I think the last time I saw you could have been the Canadian Screen Awards or something. All I know is there was a red carpet going on. You were the star, having a great time, and we were talking about something that is finally going to be happening here, the El Mocambo. Finally! Open.
Finally for sure, because I've miscalled this for 6 years, and they mistaken me on the red carpet for Willy Wonka, so I was okay with that. I just took it. I've misled the group here. That's why April 1st are opening, and it's April Fools. But shit, man, I'm telling you, it's been a long struggle. But the people around here, my suppliers, my partners, have done an absolutely incredible job. Whether it be Pride Signs or Food Dudes or Laundry Design or everyone here that's been a great job. Solo Tech, Andy. Alicia, Mark, Jamie, I really have to give them credit. This is Toronto's bar. It's not really a Mike Weckley bar. It really is what it is, and as I have a tattoo that says it is what it is, and this is really about the people that have been supportive. And I really look forward to people like yourself that come here and promote this, because we've had too many clubs closed down in Toronto. We have to resurrect this community to really go out here and be a part of it. We're in a great environment in Chinatown. Chinatown, the most endearing people, great food. And I love Kensington Market too. And I grew up on Yonge and Shepherd and spent a lot of my life walking down these streets, and it's been urbanized and what we've done with construction and everything here. But this is a really unique part of town, and I think it's only going to get better.
What do you want to see with this second generation of the El Mocambo? What do you hope that it's going to do for Canadian music that the El Mocambo did back in the day?
I'd like to see you play. I'd love to see the Rolling Stones play.
Well, we're going to get to the Rolling Stones thing in a second.
But the real story is that I'd like to. We have 4 of the top artists out of 10 in North America, with Shawn Mendes and Drake and Justin Bieber and The Weeknd. And unfortunately they're all in California primarily. But even though Drake built a big house, thank God, and he's back in town, I'm glad to see that. He's a good dude. And I really think his music is incredible, and he's the top of the charts guy. He's recognized worldwide. We have to be a worldwide place. We're 40 million people compared to 450 million in the U.S. and comparatively in the world. Germany's 80 million and London is 60. But at the same time, we have great talent, great universities, and I want to see the next U2, which played here in 1980 for $500, their first North American tour, for the next band that comes out of Toronto or out of Regina, like the Dead South, or Billy Talent, who's an incredible band. All these people, July Talk, etc. We got lots of great people, and I think that we have to promote our internal bands, and I hope that we can launch a career of another band that's going to be an upstart band. And my daughter's in Nashville right now trying to make a living. She recorded her first song, The Clouds of Grey, Raquel, and I'm very proud of her, and she really did it on her own, even though I helped her a little bit. But that's the type of thing I want to do. I have children, and that's our legacy, and I really believe that, like every father or every mother, they want the best for their children, and everyone has different skill sets, and if there's an art, and whether it be a painter or an artist or a singer or whatever it may be, you hope the best for them. And I think this gives the children a venue. And really, if you look at all the bands that they start when they're like 16 or 18 or 20. You have a short run before you don't know whether you're good or not. And, you have a finite period between 18 and 30 to really make your point. If you can get past that point, you're golden. But, even the Beatles didn't last that long, Opa!
Party's already rocking here.
Yeah, that's $3, man. So I'm on a shoestring budget, brother.
Okay, I'm going to ask you really, really quickly, too, because I know you still got other things you got to be doing also. Number one, what's the word with the Stones? I know they're going to be in Buffalo. Do you think you're going to be able to get them here?
Well, I hope so. But, they wanted, when I talked to them before on their last tour, they wanted $5 million. They ended up taking a deal for a lot more than that at up north at the festival, Boots and Hearts Festival, whatever that place is called. what's it called? Burles Creek.
Girls Creek.
Yeah, I'm not that direction. I grew up in Toronto. I still get lost here. On 56th, this is really awkward. On the subway, that's even worse. Where am I? Wilson Station again.
So we got to wait and see. Hopefully it could happen. But the other thing too,
I think that I'm not going to do anything that's outrageous because I do believe if people see this place, it's the best in North America. There's no doubt from a recording, audio, and visual point of view. And we've got great people coming here. There's no doubt we're going to have some really incredible artists. I can't go over all of them right now, but the Stones played here in 1977, so I hope that it's kind of nostalgia for them. But I can't outprice it. If I'm going to have to charge people $5,000 a ticket, the Stones here kind of suck for people that want to see them, because they can't afford it. So I'd like to be able to do it, whether through charity or whatever they want to do, and you get this out to the Stones. Hey, Mick, play here, man. Okay. Thank you.
Last question. We are talking a year from now. The Junos are going to be here in Toronto. Will the El Mocambo be a big part of that, do you think, for performances?
I think so. So CMW is coming in here in May, and they're doing a lot of events. There's the Indie Awards here. There's a lot of events being. I think is it Joan who's playing here? Joan Baez. Buffy St. Marie.
Oh, fantastic.
And you! no, you're not playing. But I for a little bit of money, you can play. But that being said, no. But no, we have some great artists. I'm going to do a dedication to Ronnie Hawkins, who's a legend in my mind and everyone else's mind who knows rock and roll. He was one of the early persons that created the moonwalk, and he's a really good dude. And I do believe that at the end of the day, what I really think that this is going to be the essence of is people are going to want to play here. Because if you're a musician and you see what these guys have done. So we had, for example, Mumford & Sons walked through here. They loved it. I don't think a band that has walked through here doesn't love it. Dallas Green walked through. So I think it's really an incredible thing that we are going to host some of the greatest people. And it's really done at a place where it's open architecture. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I'm hoping that, I don't think that the whole end of the game is to sell tickets and food and beverage. I think that pays the bills. But the real thing is content creation and creating a legacy, as some bands and Austin City Limits and Abbey Road has done. They've created this archive like Rock and Roll Circus, or, you look at Dick Clark and all the stuff they did. Electric Circus. Danny Terrio. I'm aging myself.
One last question. Is there a chance that you might be doing maybe some kind of show here, like live from the El Mocambo, that could be up on social media or even with the television station?
Hell yeah. So, we're going to have CYA Live, which is Sammy Siddiqui's company, and I'm a partner with him, and with interactive streaming. So live at the El Mocambo, and hopefully live broadcasting on pirate radio. We have some great guys from the past that you'll know their names, but I can't talk about it too much. And I really want to create this kind of culture of music in Toronto that we lost. We lost Hughes Rooms, we lost Gasworks, we lost so many places, and, Cadillac Lounges, it can go on. And it's unfortunate because, it's just what money does to people. They build condos, and it's more valuable as a condo than it is as a music venue. And it is very difficult, whether it be the Horseshoe or anywhere else, to run a venue. And I love the Rivoli. I love all the places that love live music, and I hope they stay alive because it's really important to Toronto, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Yet, we need the support of the city. We need the support of sponsors. And, we're here for the long term. And I do believe that, there's a place in Toronto for a great venue. Toronto is one of the most desired places in the world to go to. We're in the top 10, and I think it's only getting better. Like I said, Toronto's a safe, great place, and I hope that people appreciate it. I've been here 56 years of my life, and I'm not leaving.
My brother, thank you so much for the interview, and thank you for bringing back the El Mocambo.
Thank you very much.
Jamie, first, thank you so much, not just for the invite, but for the tour, the El Mocambo. It's back. It's historic, and the history continues. How does it feel working on something like this? Is not going to not just enhance and change what music is going to be like in Toronto, but literally, I think, across Canada.
Privileged, extremely privileged, right from the very beginning till for now, for sure. Yeah, it's very, very good.
How did you get involved with this?
I came in to look at the audio design and to comment and to review it, and then things just took off from there. I went from redoing the audio design and then doing rigging and then doing structural and then doing plumbing and then doing all of it. So I ended up being the contract manager for Michael, and then moved me into being the executive designer because I did all the rest of the design work except for the interior direction.
I'm curious, though, the structure itself, because it is still the El Mocambo, or whatever it was even before that. How difficult was it to bring in, restructure, and everything else, and still keep the integrity of the building itself?
It was like building the pyramids. Right? Like they had to hand dig out the basement, so they went down 10 feet. They dug out the basement, they underpinned the old building, built a structure to tear down the old building, took that new structure out, then built the whole new structure you're seeing. So if you look up, right, we went up 10, we went up 30, down 10. It was a monumental achievement to be done in this small footprint of an area, you know. So that's you got to give big hats off to the people that dug all that out, did that work by hand.
Amazing, amazing. Now, we did get footage of this, but what are fans going to get a chance to see when they get a chance to be here, through here? And what are some of the secret areas that people may not get a chance to see, but we had a chance to film?
Well, the way we've designed it is that they see elevated, and they're not going to go down in the electrical room or down in the kitchen, but they will get into the control room. You know, that is a public area for our VIPs to sit down, watch the show being directed, produced, recorded, all at once. You're part of the action. You can stand up from the seat in the control room, look out the window, and see the band being played. The big thing here is live to air, live to audience, and live to tape. And to bring home the experience of being part of the experience, part of the band. For one night, went to see a band, he goes, you know, I was on the stage with that show. You know, that's the premise that we're trying to do here.
It's also set up as a tribute to the stairs, the walls, bands who have performed here.
Well, the heritage of the venue in the past is unprecedented. I mean, I started, the first gig I did here was in 1985. You know, I was loading gear up the back stairwells. Some of the best shows I've ever been to in my life were here. There's a shot up there with Jeff Healey and Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, stuff that was here you can go on forever about it.
I'm curious, though, is Deborah Harry the person who's mostly on the walls? Because I've seen a lot of her going through this.
No, not at all. No. I have to say the Rolling Stones are. I think Mick Jagger's won that one for sure. If you really had to count, yeah.
Okay, now, we know the bands are going to be performing here. There's going to be special shows, things like that. I know that the emphasis has hopefully been getting the Stones here. Is there any word, any chance that could be happening?
I can't comment on that. I don't know. I hope so, but I have no idea if it's going to happen or not.
Okay, well, let's cross fingers. But then again, they are part of this heritage. As we're wrapping this interview up, what do you hope fans are going to get with this next generation of the El Mocambo?
The same amazing musical experience they had when they came here in the old generation. Well, we hope so for sure.
I'm looking forward to it. My friend, thank you so much for the interview, and thank you so much for bringing back this great heritage.
Thank you very much.
We really just covered them with some of the great imagery. Most of it actually shot on the original Mocambo in the space you're actually standing. It's just again, it's educating the public again on what's happening.
A lot of broadcast work, so it's going to be a different place to do the show and put it around the world.
I think it's one thing that we did.
My friend, I was trying to remember, was it 2 years ago when we were talking when this place was still kind of gutted, but you still made sure that a whole lot of people were coming in for a whole lot of fun because that El Mocambo sign was going to officially be turned on for Toronto once again?
I believe your math is correct. 2 years, 2 years ago it was the sign lighting party, and I could give you an exclusive on that. So, full transparency. Michael had a sign, a replica built, exactly the same as the one behind you here. The sign company that built that said, you need to get your sign out of here or we're going to start charging you rent. And we went, oh my God, where are we going to put this sign? And we decided, let's put it up. Let's put it up. Let's let the city celebrate. And let's not pay rent on storing that sign. So we turned a bad thing into a good thing. And we had the sign lighting party that you were invited to, which was basically to wake the city up and go, this is real. I know it's been a long time coming, but the sign's going up first, a little bit of life happening, light it up and let people know it's coming.
Okay, so did we actually, because I was hearing, I could be wrong, April 1st. What's the official date and this place is going to be open up? Do we know yet?
April 1st is what Mr. Weckerly is asking me to make happen with some of the acts. So we're deep in conversation with multiple acts. I don't know how much he told you, but one of our thought processes was Mike has thrown a couple very successful events called Weckfest. That was thrown in Caledon at his property in Caledon, and there is a lot of discussion about bringing Weckfest to the El Mocambo as our opening, and that's one of many conversations, Rudy, that's going on. So don't hold me to it, but potentially Weckfest could find its way home here at the Elmo for April 1st.
Are we going to be looking at what we looked at in the past, because the El Mocambo was all about, big acts, indie acts, merging acts, but all different types of music that really represented Canada and what Canada was listening to? We're going to be getting that back again in this second part of the generation for the El Mocambo?
We absolutely will, and I think in terms, the only thing I would maybe make a slight correction on is it's going to be global. It will concentrate obviously on Canadian acts, but we're talking to international artists right now, legacy artists, up and coming artists. We had a private event last night with a band that's on tour with the Lumineers called Mount Joy, and so Mount Joy came in and played to 30 people here last night.
That's why I didn't get I was supposed to do an interview with them, and they're like, "Oh, we can't because change of plans." It was because of this event.
Yes, so we selfishly used that opportunity with a local alternative radio station, and we got an opportunity to test our house lighting, our PA, our control room. But there's a perfect example of a up-and-coming alternative act right in our wheelhouse. So we're talking about comedy, we're talking about country, we're talking about rock, alternative rock, folk, you name it. This place used to be that, right? It was a showcase room. It was not the metal room or the hard rock room or the blues room. You could see Jaco Pastorius here one night and then Blondie or the Ramones the next night and see McLean and McLean. So we loved that programming model, and we're not going to stray from it.
Okay, I've been asking around. I'm trying to find out. Rolling Stones. We know there's a tour going on. I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, they're not coming to Toronto, actually. But could you guys be able to snag them here? It's the El Mocambo. This is their home.
I'm going to tell you truthfully, we have been in touch with them. The closest they are coming is Buffalo. The likelihood of getting the entourage here is a challenge from Buffalo. Like the Dumb and Dumber movie, they haven't said no and they haven't said yes. So there is a chance. No, we're in discussions with their camp about trying to get them back here, and we have been for quite some time.
Tell them we want to do another SARS stock, but we want to do it here at the El Mocambo. That'll work.
Yeah, that would work, right? Or maybe the coronavirus or something, right? Yeah.
I love this. Look, how are you feeling though, knowing that it's actually going to happen finally, and the fact that, like I said, the legacy is going to continue?
Rudy, today's a very proud moment for me and for the rest of our team. I think the one thing that really resonates with me is that Michael Weckerly had a vision, and the vision started out with a concept to buy the club and bring it back to its former glory. Then we see renderings, digital renderings of what the club looked like, and I looked at those and I was like, if we can even do half of this, we're going to be in great shape. And to be sitting here at the side of the stage with you today and go, we made part one of this happen, because part one is really the bringing the venue back. Part two is like a band. Now we've made an album. Now we got to tour it. So now we got to start putting entertainment in here, and that's part two of the journey.
Part three, though, is being able to stand out there, look outside the El Mocambo, seeing the lineup going around the corner because the fans are waiting to come in to see whoever is going to perform here.
I'd love to see that. You and I both know we've seen pictures of Elvis Costello's fans lining up down the street. You name it, like the Rolling Stones. I mean, that's the goal, to get to that place again, Rudy. But very proud day for all of us to have you in here and be able to give you a sneak peek before the public gets in here.
And I cannot wait to be standing in the middle here, all hot and sweaty, jumping up and down at my age, whoever's performing here, because that's what the El Mocambo is all about. Thank you so much for the invite. More importantly, thank you for bringing back Canadian legacy.
My pleasure, buddy. Not a bad seat in the house, as you can see.
Artist renderings as well, which will give you all the vantage points as well that we had during the
Let's move on to the rest of the balcony and the other areas.
We'll be doing it. We can still make records here, so yes, absolutely.
24 moving on now.
96.
Please.
96.
Clifton, thank you so much for doing this interview with me. But more importantly, thank you for coming over to me and talking, because as we're here on, if you want to call it a media day, sneak peek of the El Mocambo, I thought you were one of the reporters. Yeah. Instead, I find out you're kind of like one of the founding fathers of helping create this. What do you do here exactly?
I have known Michael for about 6 years, and within the first couple months of knowing him, I was playing events even before he was on Dragon's Den for him, and we were friends, and he found out that the sign was for sale. So he barks out, "Cliffy, buy that sign for me. I don't care how much it costs." So I find out from Sam Grosso that the building's for sale. So Michael came in and bought the building, and then he put me in charge of trying to develop a team of putting the Elmo back together. I essentially had this idea of putting a recording studio in here because I'm a recording engineer and a producer, and it's something that I'm passionate about doing, live streaming, the whole Austin City Limits type thing. So over the years, it just kept changing. Eddie Kramer got involved, and he helped with putting together the studio that him and I ran for a long time. So I have an analog recording studio where I'll do post-production for shows that aren't just live streamed. John Storick, who designed Electric Lady Studios, Eddie brought him on board, and he was one of the founding people that helped design this space, one of the best acoustic designers in the world. And then essentially what happened is our team just kind of expanded. Jamie Howson got involved, tying everything together, brought on solo tech. We went a lot more future forward in terms of instant broadcast streaming, and I kind of delved more into the studio side of things, producing bands for El Mocambo Productions, recording. I'm working on TV shows, like just did a few songs for the show Letterkenny. Just doing a whole bunch of different stuff like that. And I'll be there to mix shows that maybe go out for albums or go out for compilations or that need post-production mixing that aren't just live streamed. So
I was going to say, how do people get in touch with you? Because once bands hear this, they're going to be going, I want to be over at the El Mocambo. What do they do? It could be any band, doesn't matter.
I have a full analog recording studio with a 64-channel Neve console, old EMT plates, everything, the best microphones, just on the east end of town. So you can reach me at clifton@elmocambo.com. My website is cliftondavidbroadbridge.com. And yeah, I'm around. You can find me on Instagram, Clifton David Broadbridge. You know, I'm around.
Looking forward to all of this. My friend, thank you so much for doing this interview with me, and congratulations for making all this happen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Didn't want to see that. Michael wanted it better than what the normal is. Keep on striving on that. The cool wallpaper is really great. Vinyl wallpaper is awesome. There's like even the details to acoustics. Where you would see that's a drink rail. That's a broad baseband absorber. It goes all the way around the building. We had a show playing last night. We had Mountjoy playing last night. I was up here. I couldn't hear them all. Wow. And that's the last point of the
And one of the things that we really emphasize here is that it's a spot that artists love to play, and a place that people really love to.
Bill, you got the tour, the El Mocambo, before the opening, which I do believe they said April 1st is the official opening. What do you think of what you saw so far?
This is mind-blowing. In all honesty, I never thought of it trying to recreate the old El Mocambo, but taking advantage of the space and do something state-of-the-art, and it is astounding. Floor to floor, everything. I think it's all magnificent. It's the small details. Besides the big stuff, the digital, the 4K, and all the things you're going to be able to do, it's the small details that, you know, when you touch something, it feels solid too. You know what I mean? The railings and the little El Mocambo trees and everything, and implanted everywhere, you know, so.
But even though this is sort of like a rebirth of the El Mocambo, what do you remember from back in the day and comparing it to what you see today?
Well, I can't compare anything because it looks totally different. All I can think about is who played here that I saw. So I'm thinking about Ramsey Lewis playing here, and his bodyguard coming in with a gun and being stopped at the door, and then the patrons talking through his first set, and he stops playing and makes the bass player take a solo on a ballad until people would stop. They like to kill the crowd. Or Sonny Rollins going table to table and playing. Or being here with Mingus going to the bathroom and heaving and having a terrible fit physically, and at the same time not knowing that he's dying, right? But all the bands playing downstairs, I had the house band in the 70s and then the early 80s, but I had the house band all the time, and David Johansen and New York Dolls would be upstairs, Buddy Guy, and a lot of the players would come down and meet us, you know, and that was always an incredible pleasure for us. So I'm thinking about, you know, Room Full of Blues was like a house band that was here forever. Black Oak, Arkansas. You think of all the bands that came through here, and it was never compartmentalized, right? So whatever you heard from week to week, it could be one of the greatest jazz acts in the world, or it could be one of the greatest pop, rock, or folk acts. So that, I'm hoping that's the same thing here, because it was always about the variety of music and what went on here, you know? And it was also the social element of it, too. And then I'll tell you one really funny. We were playing here with Kearney King McBride, and Bonnie Bramlett came here, and she was with George Harrison or something. She's singing backup for somebody in the town. And she come and heard the band, and then she come down to the dressing room and wanted to meet the band. And I was wearing this British sort of flag shirt, and she went ballistic, and she says, I got to have that shirt. I got to have that shirt. So she goes, I want to swap you my top for your top. And we swapped tops at the dressing room, which, I mean, it was just a great moment of hilarity, but also just fun, you know.
Now that we know there is an opening, it is back officially, are you going to be here to continue the memories?
Yeah, I'm sure I will. You know, it would depend on what it is, depend on the price, you know, it depend on the artist. A lot of the times we're working in media, we get to come and see things, but my interest is always writing about it, hearing it, and also photographing. And it depends, you know. You never know how these things work out in the end, because you, like I, were in the media many of the times, and we spend a lot of time trying to work our way to tell a story. Sometimes that can be difficult. So it depends on how accommodating everybody is.
Okay.
Whatever the venue.
One thing I do want to add in before we wrap this up, I was overhearing in one of the interviews, the prices can go from $100 to maybe $1,000 or for free charity. What do you remember paying tickets back in the day?
Oh, God. $10, $6. Well, downstairs you didn't pay. You just come in, you know, because it was all high school, it was all college kids, right? And they come in, they pack the downstairs. I was telling somebody, the first time I played here, upstairs, I had my first record out, and I had the whole band and the horn band, funk band, and everything, and we got $2,275 for the week. I never got that money again. And that was the kind of money you would pay a headliner from the States. But for some reason, we got that money, and I walked away going, this is going to agree. If I could only do this once a month, I could retire. But you figure that in 1972 or 73, what that was, probably 10 grand, you know.
Well, the legacy continues, my friend. Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you so much, Rudy.